Welcome back to another episode of Britt and Nick Do the News. Starting tonight and into tomorrow, and if you're catching this episode this weekend on, you'll have to check online for the pictures, but we will have the blood moon lunar eclipse in the sky. At about 2:26 Eastern Time, you can catch the totality of the eclipse. The red hue is caused when the light that spills over the edges of the Earth scatters the blue hue as it passes through the atmosphere, while the redder wavelengths pass through, creating the blood moon effect.
That's super cool. Hopefully we'll be able to see it because I missed the planet parade, so...
Yeah, well, there wasn't much to see. Like this, you see the moon every night, so you should be able to catch this, but it will be pretty late at night. So, I mean, I will most likely be asleep, and I'm not setting my alarm to wake up for that. The FBI is now joining the search for a 20-year-old U.S. college student, Sudishka Konaki, who disappeared on spring break trip in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. She was last seen on March 6th, headed to the beach a little after 4 a.m. with a group of friends, staying behind with one of the males, but did not return with the same individual. It was reported that the tides were rough and that there was a big wave. Joshua Reeb is a person of interest, but is not a suspect currently. He apparently fell asleep and returned to the resort that morning. I don't think it's too strange he doesn't recall what happened, considering he passed out, and I also don't think that there was any real foul play. Drowning in a strong current is totally plausible and probably the biggest culprit here. The thing to me, though, is don't leave your friends alone with anyone. Always stay with the group. Another possible contributing factor was that the resort kept losing power, which it had that night, and it didn't get restored until 2 a.m. Again, I can't emphasize enough to stay with a group and also to be conscious of your surroundings. I remember one time, freshman year of college, my friends and I drove down to Daytona Beach, Florida. During our trip, there was a reported serial killer running loose in the town, and police were warning young ladies to stay clear, stay in, don't go out, and also to not just get in cars with random men. All cab services were actually covered so that women were safe. But being young and dumb and not having that frontal lobe totally developed, I was inebriated at a grocery store with my friends, and we met a bunch of guys and had no problem just loading on into their car. And they took us out to pretty much the boonies of Florida, like the Everglades, out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm still here to tell the tale, but again, use your head, make smart decisions. And yeah, we stayed with the group, but just in general, be careful. Spring break is upon us and things do happen.
It's so true. In fact, our graduation year, way back in 2005, I don't know if y'all recall the case of Natalie Holloway. She was an 18-year-old girl from Alabama, and she had vanished from Aruba on May 30th, 2005, while she was celebrating her high school graduation. So she was there to have fun and enjoy herself and ended up deceased. The case became an international media sensation, particularly in the United States. She was last seen leaving a nightclub with Horan Vandersloot and two other men, and all three men were arrested in 2005, but released due to insufficient evidence. Vandersloot, the prime suspect, has since confessed to killing Holloway and dumping her body in the sea. So once again, a long time ago, but here's another case right here with the gal from University of Pittsburgh gone missing. It could have been something that wasn't, sinister, but it also could be. So yes, once again, a reminder to everybody as spring break is approaching, summer not too far after that. Please be cautious when you're going to recreation areas where there's lots of people intermixing. You're not familiar necessarily with the surroundings. And, you probably are to some degree of intoxicated. Just be aware and cognizant of the potential dangers that do surround vacation spots.
Oh, definitely. I mean, a week and a half ago, 9 students who had gone missing were actually found dismembered along a highway in Mexico. So even staying in a group, you're not necessarily safe. Just be careful and have fun.
It's true. Safe fun. It is achievable. Honestly, sometimes if missing out on the best time means you can participate in the rest of your life, well, sometimes you got to make that choice.
Indeed. Fyre Fest 2. Is it happening? Well, Billy McFarland, the creator, is saying that it is on and it is happening. Billy McFarland served time in jail for his financial crimes related to Fyre Fest 1, which took place in 2017 on a Bahamian island of Great Exuma, defrauding investors of $27.4 million. People showed up to the island and there were wet mattresses, boxed lunches. It was not the luxurious trip that they were promised. Fyre Fest 2 is planning to happen May 30th through June 2nd on Island Mujeres, which is an island not too far from Cancun. Tickets are going for $1,400 for general entrance, all the way up to $1.1 million for a luxurious experience. The only problem is that no permits have been purchased, reported by Mexico, and all the hotels that they've been advertising to book have no idea about this event. So is this just another instance of Fyre Fest 1 taking place?
You know what, girl? It definitely sounds like it. Fyre Fest sounds like it's going to be up in flames and not in the cool way. This guy didn't learn his lesson the first time, and it sounds like the rest of these guests are finna learn their lesson this time. I'm going to pray that the mattresses are completely dry and clean and the lunches are well prepared by master chefs. But, only time will tell. Once they arrive on the island, they'll get to settle in and see for themselves. But I don't know what would convince anybody to pay $1.1 million to do, honestly, anything. I wouldn't even pay that much to preserve my life forever. I'd pay that much to not go and sit in some moldy, crusty old room. How about that? Ugh, foulness.
With summer vacation soon approaching, it is important to discuss the surprising announcement. After 54 years, Southwest will no longer be allowing 2 free checked bags. Truly devastating, I know. The only silver lining is that there are some conditions where free bags may still apply. A-list members will get 1 free checked bag. A-list preferred members and business select tickets will get those free too. Then it's also rumored that those who have a Southwest credit card and have reached the upper tiers of its reward programs will also get those free checked bags as well. Another trending topic involves an airline that most joke about, Spirit. Spirit is the only airline that has never had a fatal accident. I never thought I would say this, but maybe we should start booking with Spirit, where the baggage fees are very much alive, but the ticket fares are still low.
You know how I feel about Spirit Airlines and Frontier and the like, but honestly, shoot, their safety ratings are much higher ranked. So that's something to not be debated. What is to be debated is what time should you arrive at the airport? Apparently, TikTokers have convinced travelers to show up only 15 minutes before flights depart. Now airlines are giving away some of their seats. Yeah, that's right. A viral TikTok trend has emerged called airport theory. What's that? That advises you to arrive at the airport just 15 minutes prior to departure. The claim is that you could still make it through security and board before the doors close. The only problem is they're going to give away your seat. I mean, I don't think we need to participate in the meemaws of yesteryear where you arrive 3 hours beforehand, but 15 minutes is definitely cutting it close. Plus, it just depends on what airline you're flying with and which airport you're going through. I've been told Miami, Atlanta, and Denver are not ones to play with, and you better get there at least an hour beforehand. Whereas others, maybe you can kind of test the waters a little bit. Regardless, I believe that we can all agree that 1 hour seems to be sufficient. It gives you enough time to check your bag, to find your place, and to stand in line or stay seated in the area that is required to be. Mm-hmm. So I'm sticking with 1 hour, and currently I'm still sticking with Southwest too. Sorry, Frontier.
Yeah, Southwest, you're still my favorite. And just a warning to anyone, Britt may say an hour, but be warned that if you check a bag less than 45 minutes before the flight, it risks not making that flight. So just a heads up. Updates on Gene Hackman's passing. It was found that he died from heart disease a whole week after his wife passed from hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. Gene was going on with his daily life a whole week while her body laid in the bathroom. An autopsy also revealed that Gene had advanced Alzheimer's, which may explain the odd behavior. Hantavirus, for those who don't know, is contracted by rodents by breathing or touching your face after coming in contact with fecal matter or urine. It causes flu-like symptoms that last roughly 3 to 6 days. Once liquid starts building up in the lungs between 4 to 10 days, the disease can become fatal quickly. Backtracking to that part about going on about his daily life while his wife lay dead, it comes into question whether they should have been under some kind of supervised care. Supposedly his daughters hadn't been in touch with them in months, stating that he was a recluse, but at such an old age, you would think they should have had some more attention. Now, I'm not a judge of when someone should be in an old folks home. Hell, I know I want to go before someone considers checking me in, but who should make that call? Let's bring up poor Wendy Williams. She is currently committed to an assisted living facility and under the supervision of a guardian. Now, Wendy is only 60 years old. That's 5 years younger than Gene's wife, Betsy Arakawa. You wouldn't think someone of her age would need to be cared for, but in May 2023, she was diagnosed with frontotemporal lobe dementia and primary progressive aphasia. She seems to be coherent in her calls with TMZ, but I'm not dismissing that she shouldn't be provided some care with her diagnosis. But who should be allowed to decide? Her son, who apparently was pulling funds out of her account unknowingly, or a court-appointed guardian. Someone not after her money for one, but I'm not sure that everyone's hands are clean from trying to get their hands on it. You've got the judge in her latest hearing pissed off with Wendy's behavior and wants more restrictions. Her living facility is even buttoning up even more after Wendy went out to dinner with her niece. Now, I don't think Wendy should be locked down in a facility, maybe just possibly cared for by a trusted family member who does not have access to funds. But I think the biggest culprit here is that Lifetime lawsuit. They're saying that Wendy apparently didn't even sign the contract with Lifetime and that receiving $82,000 was not enough compensation for how they dragged her in her feeble condition. Personal opinion, I feel like the guardian Sabrina is just trying to kind of keep the lawsuit going and pull some funds her way.
It's never a surprise. It's Hansel and Gretel. Follow the money trail. Wherever the loot is, you'll find the culprits. It's really sad because obviously she is struggling with something. I don't know exactly how severe it is, but I do know that the public definitely came for Lifetime TV. They said it was pretty grimy, that they filmed her in her compromised state. They felt it was a violation of her rights as a human being, be compromised or not. It was still wrong to collect a whole bunch of money. I mean, it was a 2-night special, so it wasn't even just a little blip. It was a whole ordeal where they went into her personal life and even delved into some of her mental health issues as well.
Am I still able to watch that?
Yes, Nick, you can still watch that documentary, Where is Wendy Williams, on Hulu, as well as Prime Video and Apple TV.
You'll have to check it out and see how they did the poor Miss Wendy Williams. Ukraine and Russia war. Well, we all know about the heated argument that went down in the Oval Office between Trump and Zelensky. I was disappointed by the emotions expelled, but can understand how the individuals got riled up. I guess prior to the meeting, Zelensky was showing pictures of Ukrainian prisoners of war in Russian captivity to the press, and Trump pursuing his usual approach towards a sympathy campaign. We get it, but they were there to strike a mineral deal, which in turn would have had U.S. invested in Ukraine by default. It appeared that Trump held his composure while Zelensky continued on and on with his spiel until he snapped. Zelensky even called J.D. Vance a bitch in his own language. I think they were all a little too emotional, and indeed, the meeting needed to end. What followed after the meeting? Trump pulled back military aid to Ukraine. That might have been his first move, but in pursuit of a ceasefire and peace, Trump is also considering large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs against Russia until both countries strike a deal. Earlier earlier this week, the Trump administration resumed military aid to Ukraine after Kyiv indicated it was open to a 30-day ceasefire. Most recently, Trump received an apology letter from Zelensky over the Oval Office incident.
Yes, that was quite a disgrace, to be honest, for everyone involved. But once again, is that because of the true tensions that line, or is it just simply people needed a snack and the fragile male ego? Hard to call it, but I know there was a lot of judgment thrown Trump's way, and especially JD Vance. Many folks likened JD to a sad little puppy dog, just following his owner around, just yipping in confirmation or in his defense. A little embarrassing to be compared to a dog.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, but one little public service announcement. Can everyone leave JD Vance alone when he's out in public, especially with his family? There's an incident of him on the skiing slopes in Vermont nearly getting mowed down by somebody. And then, most recently, he's with his daughter and was getting heckled. Like, when you involve children, that's way out of line. You know, everyone needs to calm down and step back. We are all just people at the end of the day.
I'm in complete agreement with that. Same in regards to Sean P. Diddy Combs' children. I understand people are upset at something that he did, many somethings he did, but please leave the children alone. These are minors. They don't necessarily have anything to do with the actions of their parents. So if people could just please back off, leave the children alone.
And that includes Barron Trump, man. They're ready to jump on that. I swear.
Exactly. Poor Barron. Even though he's 18 and not a child, still, he's a kid in the end of the day. Please, please leave the kids alone. You might not agree or align with the things that their parents have done, but it still does not excuse the fact that these are minor children, or at least youth, and they need to be left alone and left out of it.
Let's discuss the trade war. I don't even know where to begin. It seems like a piss and match at this point. At the beginning of the month, March 4th, Trump's 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico is supposed to go into effect, though he limits the levy to 10% on Canadian energy. He also doubles the tariffs on China imports to 20%. So we started off there. And retaliation, well, Canada struck back. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced tariffs on more than $100 billion worth of American goods over the course of the next 21 days. China also retaliated, imposing tariffs of up to 15% on a wider range of farm exports. The European Union even took retaliatory measures covering goods from the United States worth $28 billion, not just steel and aluminum products, but also textiles, agricultural goods, home appliances, motorcycles, bourbon, peanut butter, and even jeans.
Dang, they even targeted denim? Who knew? Once again, I'm gonna have to agree with you, girl. I think it's a total pissing contest. It's almost like when you're a little kid and fighting with your siblings. It's tit for tat at this point. It's just who can one up the next person with how well they can screw over the other country. When in the end of the day, I mean, honestly, they're just screwing over themselves. So if you want to just play it cool and just be reasonable about the situation, you just come to a real legitimate agreement where everything could work out for everyone. I believe it is possible. But according to these new world leaders, I don't think it is.
Whenever you involve the term war, I don't think it sounds good. If they would just sit down and negotiate, go tit for tat there and come to terms and be reasonable, I think we could get through this where everybody might win. The one thing it is hurting is the American people. Like the stocks, they are dropping. The market is down, and I think it's in retaliation of the retaliations. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are headed towards a recession and it's not looking good.
No, it is not. But I will tell you something that is actually looking good. Social Security announces big changes for retirees, disability benefits, and VA recipients in March 2025. The SSA has confirmed significant adjustments impacting retirees, disability beneficiaries, as well as veterans. And these changes aim to mitigate the efforts of inflation and ensure financial stability for more than 70 million Americans who rely on these payments. One of the most important updates is the cost of living adjustment, or COLA, which affects the amount of the monthly checks. This modification responds to economic trends and rising costs of goods and services. Wonder why they're rising, huh? Anywho, ensuring that beneficiaries maintain their purchasing power. The SSA has scheduled the first payment of the month for March 12th, 2025, meaning millions of Americans will receive their adjusted checks on that date. The COL update is one of the more anticipated, as the increase is 2.5%. The adjustment helps with counter inflation. Now, the adjustment is calculated based on 2024's economic performance. This increase applies automatically, requiring no additional action from any beneficiaries. So that's good news. The bad news is, how long will the Social Security Administration even be a thing anymore? Are they about to sell the buildings and start to put in Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus? Or is that already kind of taking place? Hard to call it, but I'm glad that they are actually doing something positive by meeting the demands of the increase of general goods and services.
Well, let's move things to movie news. The big Oscar winner, Anora, will be premiering on Hulu March 17th. They cleaned up this year at the Oscars, winning Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Editing. I'm definitely surprised that this romantic tale of a stripper falling in love and marrying the son of a Russian oligarch swept like it did, but kind of like the Grammys, it's all about buttering up that committee. Apparently, Neon, the distributor of Anora, took an unconventional approach and paid out $18 million on their marketing and Oscar campaign, which was 3 times the budget of the film. Needless to say, it paid off. Other releases to catch: The Righteous Gemstones aired last Sunday, the 9th, for their 4th and final season. I love anything Danny McBride does, and I definitely recommend catching a show. Seth Rogen's new show premiered at South by Southwest Film Festival with rave reviews. You can catch that on Apple TV March 26. Hacks, starring Gene Smart, is coming out with their 4th season on Max April 4th. All solid comedic series are heading our way.
Woo! I cannot wait. Now, I know for a fact that my family lives down by where they film Righteous Gemstones. They actually do it at the Citadel Mall in Charleston, South Carolina. So it's pretty cool. They've actually seen the set. So it's kind of interesting.
Oh, yes. Danny McBride, he actually, I believe, lives in Myrtle Beach. So he's not too far from Charleston as well. So probably just keeping things close to home so he doesn't have to commute.
That's smart, actually.
And I love Charleston. Like, I always count that as one of my happy places. Just solid all around. If anyone hasn't been, please. It's amazing beach town. There's several beaches, many flavors, got that southern charm. Head down to Charleston, South Carolina. All right, now we're going to start a portion of the show where we kind of do a spitfire around, and this time we're going to basically list a bunch of random facts. Brittany, you're going to take us off first with this one.
That's right. Did you guys know that Kanye West is reportedly using nitrous oxide again? Yes, according to the New York Post. And that's what's causing memory issues and apparently erratic behavior. So as we see him kind of just in the public mentally disintegrate, I think we actually now have something to associate it with. It's the dang space dust. It's so bad. And I don't understand why anyone of that caliber would ever try to delve into something that is so dangerous and could honestly take away his ability to walk.
Yeah, please, everyone stay away from nitrous oxide. I just remember that time I did go to therapy and my therapist was trying to give me relationship advice. And I was looking at her kind of slow blinking since she told me that she moved next door to the person she was dating. And then that person that she was dating was huffing can after can after can of nitrous oxide. And I didn't know what to think besides I should not be taking relationship advice from this person.
Oh my gosh, clearly not. I'm not even trying to be insulting to her, but that's also something she should have never mentioned. Not only does it kind of chip away at her credibility, it's just she's not supposed to reveal that type of personal information to her clients in such a sensitive nature. I mean, goodness. And once again, anyone about their salt would know to not tell anyone that, especially not at their job. My goodness. Glad you dumped her as a freaking counsel.
Had to. Did you know that Elon Musk is also a regular user of ketamine? He says it helps with his depressive mood swings, and I believe it, but I don't know. I'm not all for a regular use of the drug.
Yeah, to be honest, I had heard that. I have heard that Elon Musk has or regularly uses ketamine. Once again, I mean, if it's under the guidance of a trained professional doctor, I mean, I can't debate it, but obviously it's not helping him out all the way. He's still making super erratic choices and acting out very oddly.
Yeah, he does come off a little odd, but no, ketamine for depression and other psychological disorders is a thing. I think they came out with a nasal spray a couple years ago that they can prescribe their patients. So there are helpful benefits.
Did you guys know that according to reports, a Texas bill could make it a felony for trans people to misidentify their sex on official documents? And not only that, it could be met with 2 years in jail and up to a $10,000 fine if this bill is passed.
They don't play in Texas.
No, don't mess with Texas. But here's the thing. Do we really need to go that ham sandwich on the dang sex on like an official document? I understand people wanting to kind of get back down to like the basic roots or what have you, but I feel like that should really mainly apply to medical stuff. I mean, really, 2 years in jail and a $10,000 fine? Why don't they give a rape assault artist that? I mean, it'll be his third offense and he's still out walking around. So why let a trans person go down for way, way less for something that, you know, a lot of people don't even find criminally offensive? Whereas rape, assault, robbery, I'd consider those thought out, planned, and sinister AF. So if we're going to punish all the trans folks, why not punish the real criminals? Can we get that worked out?
I mean, it can get confusing, though. I don't know what to say when it comes to official documentation. I feel like you should put down your birth sex. I mean, because it's on your birth certificate. So it lines up like behind the scenes. But when it comes to maybe your passport and you look like a female and it says male on it, I don't know what another country is going to think. Are they going to strip search you? Or are they going to ask questions? Are you going to be detained? Is it going to cause problems? I don't know. I just remember a story where Hunter Schafer from Euphoria received their passport newly renewed and they changed the sex back to male. And I mean, they didn't seem too outraged by it, but they were disappointed in the government for doing it, especially because they didn't opt for that.
Nick, I agree with you 100%. What about when you're traveling to a different country? If someone is presenting 100% as female and actually has all female parts as far as the outside is concerned, wouldn't that be potential for drama and problems, perhaps even violence against the individual if they're in a country that does not accept these types of changes? I mean, I feel like if you look a certain way, you should almost be able to present that on your documentation, because I feel like it'd be a whole lot worse if you look one way and are being called another. I don't know. When it comes to medical, I understand the reasonings Definitely. But when it comes to just generalized documentation where someone's just seeing you at face value, why not go with what matches?
It's true. In the state of South Carolina, death row inmate Brad Sigmund is opting to die by firing squad. This will be the first time in 15 years where someone has been executed by firing squad.
Golly. I mean, I think it's kind of cool that they're allowing him to choose, select the way he will be essentially killed. But I mean, honestly, if I had the option to, electric chair, what are they? They got the poison drip or a firing squad. I'd like to keep it OG and get a firing squad as well. Or if they have a tall enough elevator shaft, I'd just like to be dropped down through it. Let's make it quick. Let's make it painless as possible. And let's let the suffering be brief. I mean, shoot, at least if he does have to die, it gives him a little bit of choice back in selecting the way in which he does. And also, hopefully he himself is a murderer.
Honestly, if you want to die quick, I would go with lethal injection. But I think that's what his point was that the procedure in South Carolina, that it was so iffy that he rather die by firing squad. So I don't know exactly what they do with lethal injection in that state, but I would think that would be quick and painless.
Oof, I don't know. I know it's like a series of like 3 different quote unquote medicines or poisons that take you out. It's like a series. Like the first one, it's going to like slow down your heart rate and stuff like that. And then the second one, I don't know the exact lineup of it, but I do know that it's not as quick as people claim. It actually is a process and it will take some moments. So once again, firing squad. And they do have it as a squad, by the way, because they don't want anyone to feel guilt like they were the one that did the shot that, killed him. So I don't know. It's so hard to say because a lot of people don't even think that, the death penalty is just anyway. You could go back, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, or you could say, it's not right. We cannot play God and we cannot take away someone else's life. It's very, very hard to decide. And obviously, this is where it matters from state to state.
Mm-hmm. You are correct about the 3 drugs used in lethal injection, Brett. Good job. We have Pavilon, which is used to cause muscle paralysis and decrease neural transmission to the lungs. Then the potassium chloride to stop the heart, and midazolam for sedation. So there are 3 that are used in lethal injection.
Did you guys know there have been 258 reported cases of measles in the United States with this most recent current outbreak? A case even occurred in LA, New York City, and even just west of Baltimore in Howard County, Maryland. Now, RFK, our Secretary of Health and Human Services, he suggests vitamin A in your diet to make it go away. I wonder why isn't it suggesting the jab? Because he was using needles for, let's say, about 14 years. Now, our shots don't involve a tourniquet and a spoon, but you get the idea. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to keep it OG and get the jab that works for me.
What she's trying to say is everybody get up to date on your MMR vaccines. It is important in fighting the outbreak of measles. We should not be going through this right now. And again, a lot of this started in the Mennonite communities in Texas. Vaccines work and we promote them on Britt and Nick.
That's true. We ain't saying you got to get every single vaccine, but if something has been vetted for 50, 60 or some odd years, why would you not get it?
All right. March Madness is upon us, and the conference tournaments are underway this week. Fun fact, for the first time since 2014, local American University will be advancing to the NCAA tournament. In other local news, Commanders are re-signing Terry McLaurin for a record deal. His 2-year extension is reported at $321.1 million. Now, that will make him the highest paid NFL player of all time.
Did they really need to include the .1? I mean, golly, just round it up or down at that point. Seriously, I feel like you just adding salt to the wound for all of us broke folk. You guys, a study reveals that wax melts release tiny particles into the air, which compare to size and quantity of those emitted by diesel engines. That's right. You might like your Fruit Loops and iced lemon cake, but it doesn't like you. Seriously, you guys, fragrance chemicals are a concern because they can be considered very dangerous and a potential for future illnesses.
Possibly.
I think. They taste like they will. It's like them cotton candy vape pens. Like, bruh, if it tastes like cotton candy and it smells like cotton candy, but it ain't cotton candy, what is your point? It's got to be poison. There's no other way to achieve the scent, the flavor, the essence of cotton candy, but not have it be.
Just to clarify, wax melts are different than candles. They get melted instead of burned.
Good, because I'm going to keep my candles, y'all. I ain't playing around with that.
U.S. Customs are seizing more eggs than drugs at the Canadian border. That's right. Since October 2024, Customs has reported 36% rise in egg smuggling attempts, with 2,768 seizures of eggs over the 352 fentanyl seizures they've done.
It's on course for Canada. I mean, it's mainly farms up there, except for, Toronto and a few of them big spots, which they do have a horrible problem with the opioids and fentanyl. It makes sense. We want the eggs. The American public wants cheaper eggs more than we want dope. I mean, that's just real talk. I want lower priced chicken babies and less junk for real.
Nice, Brett.
Now, to lighten up some of this rapid fire round, did you guys know that Sprite Cherry Lime Chill is here to stay? That's right. Sprite Chill Cherry Lime was Coca-Cola's top selling innovation in 2024 in North America. This soft drink has, of course, a cherry lime flavor as well as a unique cooling sensation. What'd they do? Drop some dang Vicks in that bad boy? Anywho, this stuff has won over Sprite fans and skeptics alike. This beverage is now a permanent addition and is available in regular as well as sugar-free. Now, the flavors of Coke and Sprite that did not last long were Coca-Cola Spice. I don't know if any of y'all drank it, but it was no bueno. Raspberry, it didn't bother me too much, but not good enough to stay. And, of course, the classic orange vanilla. Now, I actually didn't think it was that good. Cherry vanilla, however, was incredible. Orange vanilla, just leave that to creamsicles. And Oreo can also be added to that list, which it wasn't awful. It was just more very, very trippy. Like, how did they get the flavor of Oreo into a soft drink beverage? I mean, I don't know what type of witch doctor you got to consult. Probably the same folks that make them damn cotton candy smoker pens. They probably on the same deal with the devil. But I miss me with that. And the Diet Coke Spicy Cherry, I never gave it a whirlski, but that didn't do too good in the American market either.
Yeah, instead of a food new release segment, I guess we got soda pop. But I do want to mention something that's coming back in the food chain industry that's worth talking about. And maybe I just think it's worth talking about. But KFC is bringing back the potato wedges.
Oh.
Now, I know. They were my top fry, I think. They were delicious. So the fact they were even not on the menu anymore, I was shocked. So, folks, they are coming back. And I think we all might need to take a trip through their drive-thru just to see if they're as good as we remember.
Oh my gosh, girl, you just lightened up my whole afternoon. I'm so happy to hear about that. I personally loved the KFC potato wedges. And not only that, they were a great comparison for me and my one pal making fun of this other broad's eyebrows. We often likened them to KFC potato wedges. Praise be and boo on me for talking about people's physical features. But dang, aren't they tasty?
Well, talking about tasty treats, Friday, March 14th is National Pie Day. That's right. 3.14 is pie, everyone. And to celebrate, Brittany and I are going to do a little challenge, kind of like we did the cookie challenge, where each round you have to debate which cookie is better, and then it moves on to the next, except instead of cookies, we're doing pies this time. But to kick it off, we're going to go with some nutty pies. We got walnut pie or pecan pie, Brittany.
Okay, so I ain't never heard of walnut pie. It sounds like something that was taking place in Great Britain circa 1712. So I'm gonna say pecan pie, girl.
Pecan. Well, fun fact, Miss Dolly Parton's favorite pie is walnut. So hopefully she's shielding her ears. And then pecan, well, Mr. Martin Luther King Jr., that was his favorite. Moving on to the next round, pecan pie faces apple pie.
Oof, apple pie.
Mm-hmm.
I love me some fruit pie, and apple it's just so classically American, I feel. I don't do it really with the American cheese on top, although I have heard it's good.
American cheese.
Yes, girl, you never heard of that.
Never in my life.
Yeah, you like more of the scoop of vanilla ice cream,
Yeah,
right?
that's what a sane person uses. Cheese? Are you freaking kidding me? That's as bad as someone saying they eat cupcakes with chili, which they do out in Iowa, I heard.
I heard that too. I think they're more of like a cornbread cupcake,
I don't
hopefully with
know.
some mashed potato icing, and then I'm rocking with it. But yeah, just a straight up Duncan Hines cupcake with sugary frosting. Why the hell would you put any sort of chili product near there?
But cheese on apple pie, Brittany, like really? Have you tried that?
I have not. Not that I
God.
can recall anyway, but I might have to give it the old college try this summer.
Maybe not.
Wild on July 4th, you know?
All right. So apple pie moves on, and apple pie is Obama's favorite. Former president. Love that apple pie. Very American of you, Mr. President. All right. Next round. We got apple pie or cherry pie.
Mm, dang. I love cherry pie, but I'm sorry. Apple's gonna have to beat this one.
See, I love cherry more. I'm really not a fan of apples in pie. I like that soft cherry. It's more sweet. So we got apple pie moving on. Next up, blueberry pie.
Oof. I'm gonna switch it. Blueberry pie is going to beat out apple pie. Thoroughly, thoroughly endorse blueberry pie.
Is it one of your top favorites?
It indeed is. I'd say blueberry is actually quite possibly my number one.
Oh, wow. It's been a long time since I've had a blueberry pie. Actually, a real long time. I think I'm always defaulting to a blueberry muffin. So I think, blueberry pie doesn't get enough attention.
I agree.
All right, so blueberry pie moves on versus coconut cream. Ooh.
Oh, scheisse. I do love coconut cream, but if we going kind of like off the beaten path of pies, I'm definitely picking more of a key lime or a lemon meringue over coconut cream. And if we're taking any of those versus blueberry pie, it's going to be blueberry every time, Booski.
All right, well, blueberry pie moves on once again, but does it stand a chance next to something more candy flavor? Chocolate cream pie.
That does sound delicious. And if I truly have my way, I would eat them both in congruency. The chili and the cheese can GTFO, but you can leave them behind. But since I'm forced to pick, I will pick blueberry again. I'm so sorry.
Blueberry pie. Wow. Okay, that's a shocker for me. I thought you would have switched it up right about then, but that's okay. We'll move on. Blueberry pie or lemon meringue?
Dang. I mean, lemon meringue is so good and it is just so unique. It's like classically its own thing. So part of me wants to say lemon meringue, but a bigger part of me kind of is like, no, blueberries in general are better than lemons. So Blueberry pie again.
Lemon meringue. I hate lemon meringue. So, fun story, but not so fun for me. In kindergarten, I guess I couldn't read meringue because I purchased a lemon meringue pie for a pie eating contest. And can you imagine thinking you're kind of digging your face into a Boston cream and it ends up being lemon? I almost threw up in front of my whole class and I could not finish. I bowed out, no problem. And I have not, since that day, eaten lemon meringue.
Oof, yeah. Childhood trauma can really affect you in your later years, you guys, even when it comes to dietary selection. So be careful what you give your children.
All right. So blueberry pie, right? Moves on. Does it stand a chance against key lime pie?
Dag nabbit. See, I wish I had like an idea of if it's summer or winter, because that would definitely, have some bearing on my choice. So if it's fall, winter, shoot, even kind of spring, I'm picking blueberry pie. But if it's summertime, key lime pie all day. And actually, down in Belize, they don't differentiate between lemons and limes. So they actually call it key lemon pie.
Who is this?
Belize.
Oh, Belize. I thought you said Louise, and I was like, who is she?
Now, I don't know her, but Thelma got to be close by, so that might be a 2-for-1 deal. Amen, amen.
Hey.
The chocolate cream and the blueberry.
Okay, but you have to pick, and we're not talking about which pie you'd eat in the season. You have to pick which pie overall.
Yeah, I feel bad. I will pick blueberry.
Blueberry. All right. Well, Florida's favorite is key lime pie, so they are not happy with your answer. And makes sense, it originated in Key West, so that is one of their own. All right, last pie of the day, and I don't know with you, but blueberry pie.
Rhubarb?
What?
Strawberry rhubarb?
No, I didn't put that one in there. Sorry.
You kidding?
I guess that one would have been the winner, but no. The final pie that competes against blueberry pie is pumpkin pie.
Dang.
Yeah, girl. I kicked that blueberry out with that one.
Golly, I do love pumpkin pie. I love sweet potato pie. I love oh, man. Oh, golly. No, I feel like if I just have to wake up to one, it's going to be blueberry pie. Now, if you put strawberry rhubarb or even peach, you might have got a different selection. But I can appreciate the fact that you didn't, and blueberry remains champion.
Oh, man. Speaking of blueberry pie, I just caught that movie Heretic, and I know you saw the movie a few weeks ago, too. And remember how he lit that blueberry pie candle? Well, yeah, that just brought me back. But let's focus on the game here. Pumpkin pie. 40% of America voted that pumpkin pie was their favorite Christmas dessert. Not just favorite pie, but they're saying it's number one, even at Christmas time, beats all desserts. 40%. So, fun little fact. So, 3:14, everyone, grab yourself a slice of pie. And honestly, I'm not a pie fan. I'd rather go for cake. But I think, to celebrate the holiday, maybe I'll consider it. To wrap us up, though, we've gotten some requests from some fans that they wanted to kind of have us dive into more Dear Abbey letters and, real life scenarios and give our expert opinion. So, Brittany, I think you've got a letter this week. What do you have?
I do indeed. So, I have been dating this guy for 5 years. 2 years ago, one of his friends came on to me through a text. I told him I'm not the kind of woman who cheats, and he respected that and didn't text me again. I told my boyfriend the very next day, and he no longer trusts me. Ever since then, he questions what I'm doing, where I am, and accuses me of lying every time. He thinks I have slept with every one of his friends, and he tracks me. He puts cameras up and accuses me of deleting everything. I have never cheated on him, or have I even thought about it. All of his accusations are pushing me away. He wants me to take a lie detector test to prove I'm innocent. I don't feel I should have to take one when I'm not doing anything wrong. I literally sit in my house and go nowhere but to the grocery store. I don't talk to a single person. I chose to do all that so he would stop accusing me, but he always finds something wrong. Should I take this test to prove he's been wrong about me this whole time? Part of me worries that even if I take this test, he will find something else and it's never gonna stop. Prisoner in Ohio.
Well, yeah, she's already a prisoner because she's in Ohio. So let's start there. Well, Brittany, I don't think this is a tough one to solve. I think old girl needs to get out of that relationship. The guy sounds like he had a mental breakdown over something that he shouldn't have batted an eye about. I mean, it was your friend. How about you go confront dude before you come at your girl full force? Just too much. And I would not take a lie detector under any circumstance when it comes to my man questioning my whereabouts or what I do. It just seems too weird. It's the principle. It's not like I wouldn't pass because I'm not a liar, but it's just the fact that we have to go to these extremes over nothing at all. Like, sir, are you okay? And yeah, I think you need to leave because people snap all the time. And he sounds like he might be one of them people that might end your life. So how about we end the relationship and save ours?
Seriously. This is a red flag if I've ever heard one. This guy's controlling, borderline manipulative, and obviously has his heart in the complete wrong place. His only job, it seems, is not to be a partner and a reliable one. He wants to be some accusatory a-hole and track his girlfriend's every move. I mean, that does not sound like a stable individual. I mean, if he really did think she was cheating, why would he not break up with her? He obviously deep down, I feel, doesn't believe that, or else why would he still be engaging with her? It's just terrible that he thinks that this is the way to handle that situation. If anything, he should have chalked it up to boys will be boys, ugh, and talked to his friend and made him an ex-friend. Why would you even try to compromise my relationship with my girlfriend? It's just not worth it, girl. Get out of here as soon as possible. And I'm surprised that you hung in there for 2 additional years with this treatment. Know your worth. Do not settle. And I understand it seems like you've already wasted a bit of time on this guy. Well, you have. But who cares? Cut your losses, move on, and get you a big piece of victory cake while he can sit there and eat his humble pie because he needs to be humbled and know that he is not the end all be all when it comes to how someone acts and responds. He's ridiculous and he needs to be dumped.
Well, you heard it right here from Britt and Nick. Thanks for tuning in. And I hope everyone has a great weekend and a rest of their next week.
That's right. And don't forget to enjoy St. Patrick's Day, Monday, March 17th.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Don't forget to wear green.
Or you gonna get pinched.